I hope you're here because the title captured your attention. And yes, what is it that kills creativity? We're going to talk about that today here on Creating with Semaj. I'm Semaj. It's great to have you here with me. This is a space where we just create and we talk or we don't. But today I wanted to talk about what kills creativity. And the number one thing that kills creativity is not doing it, not having a creative practice. So whether it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10, or the 20 that we usually spend together, we want to have a creative practice. So we're going to talk while I paint. Canson XL, Prang Oval will juicy up our paints today, and we'll start talking about what kills creativity. As artists, or those wanting to become an artist, especially if you are a beginner. Beginners, it's important that you hear. Don't spend your time on social media looking at all of the people who have been painting for years and comparing yourself to them. Comparisоnism, looking at others and not thinking that you measure up, is a killer of your creativity. It is the very thing that will keep you from expanding in your creative process, because you look at the fault in what you do and you look at how it doesn't look like that of the person who has probably been practicing their craft for at least 5 years or more, usually. So let's give ourselves as beginners a little grace to have the opportunity to just be in that space of discovery, in that space of learning and discovering what we are not good at. Because when we learn things in the process of doing, as artists, or those who are creatives like myself, you get the opportunity to expand and you get to see how your intuition shows up to guide you. So this channel is predominantly about guiding and following your intuition. And as someone who may be wanting to get into art, I always think that going that process is a very good starting point. And why do I say that? Because when you start following someone or wanting to be like someone else, you start comparing yourself to them, making it difficult for you to be able to see your own growth and your own potential. You continue to measure yourself against someone else. It would be better if you involved yourself, maybe, potentially, in a group of beginners where you're all at the same point learning together, rather than following someone who is more experienced in their craft. And I am speaking directly to people who are beginners, over 50, over 60, trying to figure out what to do with yourself or wanting to find yourself through art. I believe that art provides nonverbal language for you to work out things or just have space to be quiet. So, what the number one killer of creativity is not doing. And number two is the comparisоnism, comparing yourself to others and feeling that you don't measure up. You do. You are enough. And when you follow your intuition and just allow yourself to be guided in the joyful process of creating, you will start to see amazing things will show up in your work. Also, allow yourself to be a beginner. We all have a starting point. We all have some place where we begin. If we didn't, it would be hard for us to see our growth over time. I speak from experience because when I first started this journey of being a creative or spending time, I invested a lot of money, a lot of energy, and a lot of time following other people trying to mimic their style and not quite being able to reach that and becoming frustrated with myself, not realizing that if I paint every single day, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 or 20, and I commit myself to doing that regularly, I, over time, will see my own style develop. But that doesn't happen if I don't partake in that activity of doing. So we need to be involved in the growth of our practice. We need to allow ourselves to have the opportunity to be the beginner, because when you are the beginner, there are no expectations. And when we learn to let go of the expectations that we hold of ourselves and for ourselves about our greatness and other things, so we should also be great at all things, isn't necessarily a true story. We may excel exponentially in one area and completely not have any leverage or grasp in another. That doesn't mean the potential isn't there. So allow yourself room to play, to discover, to give yourself grace as you lean into the idea of being more creative, having a creative practice, and having a simple opportunity to watch yourself grow in that which you enjoy doing. So don't kill creativity by not doing. Don't kill creativity by comparing yourself to others. And don't kill creativity by simply thinking that you and what you create isn't enough. Because anything that you create is enough. It's the starting point that everyone has, and over time you continue to grow from there. We are creatures, humans, who enjoy creation. We are meant to be creative, to use our hands, our minds, and intermingle that with spirit, however that shows up, to learn more about ourselves and more about the world in which we live. When we allow space for ourselves to learn and to grow, the most amazing things begin to take place, begin to show up, and begin to happen in our lives. It's about, when you create, having joy in the process without attachment to the outcome. Part of this whole process of what I spend time doing here with you is never being attached to the outcome. It's just an opportunity to sit and to play and to have a chance to see what can be created in the time that we have together. am showing up for you, allowing you to have someone to paint with, or listen to, or simply watch while you maybe unwind, decompress, or do what's necessary. I encourage you, though, to always participate and be part of the adventure, because when we learn to be part of the things around us in our growth, it opens us up to the potential of what might be there waiting for us. I always enjoy our time that we get to spend together. Being here with you is such a joy, and it means so much to me. I hope that you have time to see your potential, to not kill creativity, but to embrace it and allow it to show up in the ways it most desires in your life. It may not be painting. It might be drawing. It might be many other things. But dedicating a little time to invest in you, I always say, is the very best investment, with always the greatest returns. I so appreciate your time and your attention today. I hope that together we learn to expand, not kill the process of creativity as beginners, that we look at others and what they do, and we admire it, and we applaud it, and we embrace it, and we see it as potential for us to take the journey on our very own path. That journey only happens when we choose to take the step to begin. Thank you for spending the time with me, for listening, and for choosing not to kill your creativity. Wherever you are, I trust you have the most amazing day, and until then,